For March 23rd, Monday, 2015, are we on the road to a nuclear World War III? I want to cover in this video a few articles that we're not going to find on mainstream media news that have been circulating for the last number of days, and some breaking news coming out of Russia. Vladimir Putin. We're going to discuss all this in a moment. But let's go to a few news headlines. Now, this article comes from the World Post, the Huffington Post. Now, let me explain. Mainstream media news outlets are now going to give little tidbits of what's really going on, but they want to detour your attention away from what's really taking place with Russia and NATO and the possibility of a nuclear World War III. We're going to talk about that in a moment, but they let this slip out. Russia threatens to aim nuclear missiles at Denmark ships if it joins NATO shield. And this is just a breaking story coming from Reuters. Russia threatened to aim nuclear missiles at Danish warships if Denmark joins NATO's missile defense system in comments Copenhagen called unacceptable and NATO said would not contribute to peace. Denmark said in August it would contribute radar capacity on some of its warships to the missile shield, which the Western Alliance says is designed to protect members from missile launches from countries like Iran. Now, this has been going on for some time. Russia, Vladimir Putin, has been very upset about this missile defense shield. And I believe that's even before the crisis with Crimea and the Ukraine. And there's just so much to report on. Moscow opposes the system, arguing that it could reduce the effectiveness of its own nuclear arsenal, leading to a new Cold War-style arms race. There's more to this story, and I will try to put the link below for you. But what is mainstream media news doing now to distract you, to draw your attention away, and the American people away from the possibility of a nuclear world war? And that's what they want. That's what they want. We got to remember, the commander-in-chief funded the Muslim Brotherhood, created ISIS, the Islamic State. All of the prophecies are being fulfilled so very quickly. We're going to talk about these 4 U.S. fighter jets that Russia shot down. We're going to talk about a few more things in this video. Now, let me show you what mainstream media news is using today to distract you. What I see happening is they're using a lot of different sources to distract you from the real crisis of nuclear world war, the Great Tribulation to begin, but they're sneaking in now. We're so very close. Little tidbits. Ebola returns. The Ebola virus, they're bringing that back on the front page of the news. Ebola returns. Team Bibi, it's all a big misunderstanding. Obama, we take Netanyahu's comments at his word. But through all of the maze, we're going to find that they're slipping it in. We've got, of course, Hillary Clinton and Clinton's Benghazi emails. All of a sudden, all disappear. All of these are little tidbits that we're going to have a great war upon us, a great tribulation, and someone to come in and usher in and confirm a covenant with many to end this, what I believe to be the beginning of the Great Tribulation, a world war. And this, Iran urges world to find common position for nuclear deal. They're letting you know Iran now is trying. And the United States is negotiating with Iran so they can have a bomb. It's all coming to pass, and we've got just so much going on. And how do you sift through the cesspool? Pope credited with performing miracle. He kisses us vial of his dead priest's blood, and I just did a video on that, and it's dried, hardened blood, and it turns, and it liquefies. We're living in the very last days. Pakistan displays locally made armed drone. I mean, there is so much going on here. And these are the companies profiting most from war. They're letting you know, they're slowly letting you know how close we are. And I believe it's going to happen this year. Possibly this spring. We're coming upon the third of the 4 blood moon tetrads. We've got CERN now turned on. And this full solar eclipse at the spring equinox, now see, they're slipping it in. Russia threatens to aim nukes at Denmark ships if it joins the NATO shield. I'll be right back. We're going to cover a few more things. Now, this coming from RT News. U.S. military convoy parades through Eastern Europe. There's videos below. And you can do a Google search. I'll put the link to this. A convoy of U.S. military vehicles, mostly IAV Stryker APCs, is touring through Estonia, Lithuania, Poland, Latvia, and the Czech Republic to Germany in a symbolic show of force and solidarity with Eastern Europe allies that live closest to the bear. They're calling Russia the bear. And you can see the troop movement. U.S. convoys strengthen solidarity. U.S. convoys roll through Europe, and this is just when you hear of war and rumors of war, and look at the vehicles. And look at the equipment. My goodness. So we've got Russia today threatening Denmark with nuclear missiles. It's alleged that Russia shot down 4 U.S. fighter jets, and mainstream media is going to keep this swept under the rug, covered up, and we have to try to depend on alternative news sources, but slowly now is what's concerning me. They're leaking all of this out to the public, slowly. And of course, we've got this story circulating. It came out March 19th. Top U.S. commander under arrest for refusing to fire nukes at Russia. A new report circulating in the Kremlin today, prepared by the Foreign Intelligence Service for the Ministry of Defense, states that President Barack Obama's nuclear war communication commander has been arrested and relieved of her commitment after failing to transmit launch codes authorizing an atomic weapons first strike attack upon the Federation in coordination with a similar surprise attack planned by the United Kingdom. According to the SBR, U.S. Navy Captain Heather E. Cole was commander of the U.S. Navy Strategic Communications Wing located at Tinker Air Force Base in Oklahoma, who E-68 or 6B rather, Mercury aircraft provide the communication links allowing President Obama and U.S. Secretary of Defense Ashton Carter to directly contact the submarines, bombers, and land-based missiles that compromise the United States strategic nuclear force. I mean, this is just, of course, mainstream media is not going to put this out. We've got to, and this is being broadcast and reported in the United Kingdom and Russia. On Monday, March 16th, this report states Captain Cole received from the Pentagon a launch order authorizing a limited nuclear strike against Russia, which has failed due to a critical permissive action link, PAL, failure, thus causing her to abort this planned attack. We got to remember Vladimir Putin has disappeared and the rumors were going around that he had died, and that he had been sick, and his girlfriend was giving birth to a baby. Remember the close call, the Russian fighter jets in Alaska. We're getting very close to the United States, and we're sending up sorties. And I talked to a dear sister in Denmark that this is real. Russia has their missiles aimed at these ships in Denmark. And she tells me, because she lives in Denmark, that they have been sending their military jets up to deter Russian fighter jets from their airspace. And I believe it's all about to happen. I believe we are headed for a nuclear World War III and the beginning of the Great Tribulation. But I think this is going to cause the spark that tells the Father, go get my children, the imminent rapture of the church. Remember how Hollywood and the Illuminati let you know in the movie industry things that are in the works. Remember the movie Red Dawn. Remember, we have foreign troops here on our soil. Are we on the road to a nuclear World War III? No fear, no fear. If you are born again, you have nothing to fear. We're promised to be kept from the time of trouble that is to come upon this whole world. Look up. He's about to break the clouds and come for the church. If you're not saved, you need to repent now and call upon Jesus to come into your heart. Subscribe to my channel. Leave me comments.